Yes, ma'am.
What do you do to get yourself prepared and get that click? To what point you would tell yourself, okay?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to give you that, but it's, you know, you're looking at your schedule, like, you know, everything's prepared for the week. Your clients are prepared. Your prospect list is done. You know, there's a lot of admin. You got to have your admin laid out, bullet points. You need an assistant. If you guys don't have assistants, you got to get assistants. That's like number one. But you know, there's a lot to it just from running a team and organizing the team, organizing my clients, So I don't know if I can really answer your question, but it's unique to everybody. But based on what I know I need to do in events and speaking and all that, I get a big list ready and I just rock through it. Right?
Right. So for example, if you're planning to make a prospect, what type of preparation you usually do to prepare for that meeting? Like the bullet point, the checklist.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's you're talking about like with a client appointment or
the client appointment.
Yeah, I mean, that's unique to the client. So, I mean, I can't go through case stuff with you guys today, but I just know I have to be prepared for that before I roll into the week. So whatever that is, illustrations, numbers, retirement calculator. I don't know if I'm answering your question or not, but we could spend 2 hours on this one. Right. My point is you got to be to a point. You don't want to roll into Monday and not be ready. That's my point. So you got to allocate time to it. So you don't show up on Monday and get ready. You show up Monday ready. Otherwise, you can't hit these impossible goals. But part of it is you got to have clarity of what your impossible goal is. So you guys have one in your mind, right? So impossible goal, and what, you know, and I love Steve Siebold, and I love Monty, and I love some of my mentors. Here's the thing. World-class people know that when you set an impossible goal, you don't need to believe that it's possible when you set it. Okay? Middle class thinks you need to set these smart goals, and they need to be believable, and they need to be all that stuff. That's not what I'm talking about here. The world class knows that you will eventually, over time, through your growth and development, you will grow into your belief that that's possible. Okay? So when I set the $1 million goal, it was many years ago. I was at like a couple $100,000 a year. It seemed so far out of sight, it didn't become believable till about March of this year. And then we hit it within 90 days of that. Okay? But I knew if I just hung with my morning routine, my imaging, my visualization, my personal growth, my personal development, I knew if I just did what I could do every single day, I would eventually grow, and at some point, that goal would become a lot more believable. You guys follow me?
Yes.
So set the impossible goal, and don't worry about whether you believe it's possible right now. That's a big concept, right? So make sure you guys write it down. And then the other thing you guys got to do is you got to figure out the compelling emotional reasons of why it's important to you. Okay? Compelling emotional reasons of why it's important to you. So what I love about Siebold is he said middle class, right? And that's why I love the 177 stuff. That's why I love How Rich People Think. I love those books. Once again, guys, it's not about grabbing 20 books and spending, 10 hours a day reading the books. I might have 4 or 5 going, but I'm going to go page, a page, a page, a page. That's why I love How Rich People Think, because it's a page a day. And there might be, a concept that you might need to read for 45 days straight. It's not about getting through the book so we can give you a trophy. Okay? It's like people are like, well, wait, you've had Maxwell's book for a year and you're 1.5 times through it? I'm like, yeah, it's freaking gold. Right? Like the book you gave me. Like, I'm never going to put that book down. I mean, that's going to be, and I might, some devotionals and I might read it. I'm on this one devotional. I've been on it for 3 straight weeks. Well, I'm just like, boom, I got to get this dialed in. So what I love about Siebold is it's just, you go, okay, middle class, world class, middle class, world class, middle class, world class. So you guys just start gauging yourself on where you are. And I had to do that on money, middle class, world class, middle class, world class. So you just, and you don't, here's the thing, guys. Who's good at beating themselves up? You just can't do it anymore. I mean, like if you're beating yourself up, it's like you're kicking your kid in the gut. That's how I view it. You can't do it. You just, it comes up, you need to delete it out of your mind because it costs you and your family so much. And so you can't have that ongoing conversation. And you just got to work on it. And you just absolutely have to be aware. And, you know, there's times where I'm like, dude, you're better than that. Pull your head out, right? But it's not, you're better than that loser. Like you're such a this is such, like that doesn't even enter my mind. And it's not that I'm better than you. It has nothing to do with that. I just made the connection that beating myself up is beating my family up. Right? You got to make that connection because when you beat yourself up, you take yourself out of the game and you lose focus and you're moving away from your impossible goal. You have a question?
Is this relating to something that came up a few decades ago? Becoming a better parent to the kid within.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, so here's the deal. You come into this planet and you're a baby. Okay? And people fly from all over the tarnation to come see you as a baby. And when you're a baby, you don't sit there and go, I don't know if I deserve to be fed. Right? You cry, you wet yourself, right? You do all that stuff. I mean, people don't grab a baby and look at it and go, eh. They don't, do they? Well, then what happens is you start moving through childhood, stuff happens to you, okay? You start making up stories, and there's this message of, I'm less than. I'm not good enough. Teacher, parent, sibling, whatever. And then you take the message and you start internalizing it and it starts planting in your subconscious mind. And then you just start piling on all these programs. And so all personal growth and development is about getting you back to that place when you were born. All right? People are like, well, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve that. Hogwash. That's a bunch of crap. People that don't deserve need to forgive themselves. End of story. If you got a deserving thing going on, you haven't forgiven yourself for something. This is big stuff, man. I'm telling you, right? This stuff's the key. This is the stuff I had to do. I had to forgive myself for my divorce. I didn't forgive myself for stupid. I had to do it, or it was just never going to happen. And I had this. Well, I don't know if I deserve to be wealthy, or deserve this, or deserve. That is such a bunch of ego-driven crap. There's nothing true to any of it. So what growth and development is eventually just getting back to loving, approving, accepting yourself. End of story. That's where you got to get to. That's it. Because you didn't have that problem when you came here. And it just piled on over time. So it's like, well, what's the key to hitting an impossible goal? What's that? Like, understanding that we're a miracle and a mess at the same time. That's one of the most beautiful things anybody ever told me. We're a miracle and a mess at the same time. I'm a miracle, but I got some mess in my life. It's not about freaking getting perfect. So when I embrace that, I'm like, I'm going to get better. I'm always going to have wonky things about me. I'm not going to get perfect, but I'm certainly not going to beat myself up anymore. How the hell am I going to serve a mission like this if I'm spending all this time hammering the crap out of myself? Can't do it. It's impossible. And then you're right? And then it's like your kids love you and then they see you not love you. It's a weird thing. It's a mess. Like, I love them, but they don't love themselves. So what's up with that? You guys catching this?
Yeah.
It's gigantic. That's the stuff I had to work on. And so you got to understand that world class, they love themselves, but they're going to look at their lives from objective reality, right? And go, dude, you got to get better over here. There's things I got to get better at. There's things where I fall short. I don't bring like you're a loser to the party. That serves nobody. I can't go do what I need to do if I'm beating myself up. So if you guys are about that, you got to get better at that. All right, I love Joel Osteen. Like stuff comes in his mind, he just goes delete, delete, delete. Like just use that. Delete, 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 delete. When he took over for his dad, and he wasn't, you know, he wasn't a minister. He had nothing in it. He gets up, he does his first service with his dad gone, and he comes out, and there's these three old kind of ladies, you know, and they're, I don't know, big deals in the church, whatever. And they're like, well, he's not like his dad and this and that. And they're talking crap about him. And he's picking up on that, right? He goes, I cannot let that enter if I'm going to go do what I need to do. So he said, delete, delete, delete a few thousand times over the next couple of weeks because he could not let that thought enter his unconscious mind because he was not going to be able to serve the group because they needed a leader by entertaining that. So you guys need to start controlling your thoughts. And one of my favorite quotes is quit letting your thoughts push you around. Quit letting your thoughts push you around. And it happens. I'm not impervious. Like, you know, things happen and I want to grab onto it and I want to take it down the rabbit hole and all that. I just got to like step up out of it, delete, 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 delete. No. Now, things have to get dealt with, and there's unpleasant things you have to deal with sometimes, but don't bring more to the party than you need to do, right? So studying how world-class people do things and you gauging yourself without beating yourself up, going, okay, I'm a little middle class here, all right? World-class is this. So when you're reading something, you're like, okay, I need to apply that. So world-class people know that goal setting is an emotional process. So to go hit your impossible goal, you got to create compelling emotional reasons to make it happen, right? So the impossible goal for me, I had to say, well, okay, if I'm growing my income, then I'm serving more people. That's a good thing, right? If I'm more financially free, my wife thinks I'm better looking than I am, okay? So that's a good thing, right? But really our relationship's more solid because, you know, after we had our blowout years ago and she threw her purse, I mean, I didn't want to have another stressful financial conversation with her as long as I live. No more. It was compelling for me. So this in and of itself is just metal. But what this represents for me is we only have empowering money conversations. Right? So it's just a symbol for me of that, and that's it. My kids watching me win. It's gigantic. It's huge. Right? Being able to bring my kid on stage at WFG convention on my birthday. I mean, woo, holy crap. I practiced that 5-minute talk. I kept like 150 times. I'm like, there's just no way I'm messing this one up. But my son had no idea because I don't run around going, hey, your dad's awesome. And I don't do that. Like, he had no clue. But what he saw that day was amazing, top 5 day of my life. But that's not even possible if I don't set the impossible goal. And so he's just crushing it as an 18-year-old. Got into Vanderbilt, got an internship with Google for the summer. I mean, he's unbelievable, like what they're paying. I'm like, you're paying you what? And you're freaking 18? Well, a lot of that was on his own, but if I don't set an impossible goal and set a focal point on growing me, I can't pour into him. I gave him 177 when he was 12, right? Which y'all should do.
Yep.
And I'm like, read it because you're getting programmed by middle-class teachers. I'm not, but I'm not, that wasn't a mean thing. I'm like, you got to listen to them and you got to love them and respect them. but they're middle-class thinkers. And I love your mom, I love your stepdad, and you should listen to them. And they're phenomenal people, and I appreciate them. But son, they're not world-class thinkers. It's not an indictment. I'm not better than them. But your mom and your stepdad are not world-class thinkers. I'm moving there. I'm going to teach you what I know, but you need to understand how world-class thinkers think. End of story. So for an 18-year-old, pretty damn cool stuff. I mean, unbelievable what he's doing. Can I tell you a story? This is pretty cool. So he's in his Angela's like, I don't know where he's going today. But so he's in his class at Vanderbilt, right? So another cool thing, so when they're doing the WFG book, Siebold reaches out to me. He's like, hey, I want to interview you for this book. He's like, I want you to do my first interview. I said, all right, I got to work it. So my kids are in Atlanta. Siebold's 45 minutes from my kids. I'm like, tell your camera crew that my son has to finish his baseball game, and then I'm coming over. He's like, I'm not a diva, but I'm not missing the baseball game, right? Because I don't see him all the time. So we get over there, and Siebold starts interviewing me, has the lights on me and all this stuff, and that's the first glimpse, and my kids are like, Dad, I kind of thought you were not anything really, but what's going on here? Like, why are we at this guy's mansion, all this stuff? And he starts, so it was really, really cool. And then, but I taught Kate, and I'm like, reach out to successful people because they're the ones that are going to help you. And don't be shy about it. But the middle class does what? They make up stories that successful people are too busy and they won't help you. And that's a I don't deserve thing crap going on, right? You guys should always reach out to successful people on your list and ask for help and ask for introductions and ask for referrals, especially when you're talking about the mission. You talk about the mission with successful people, they're going to help you. All right? You got a ton of successful people that you need to reach out to. They'll help you. I'll have one friend in 20-some years that started a business that reached out to me and said, I need your help, I need introductions. One. Because he gets this stuff. And I made 20 introductions like that. Didn't even hesitate. But if you would have asked, I wouldn't have known. So you guys are like, I'm not busy enough. You need to make a list of your most successful people, sit down with them with the book, talk about the mission, and say, hey, here's who I'm looking to get introduced to. And not necessarily getting introduced to people that need the book or need the business. You want to get introduced to more successful people. Then you want to share the mission. So you can start building a new network and referrals and connections based on connecting and referring. And then you should be an active connector and referrer on you. It's one of my goals every week, to make 4 solid connections for other people. That's part of my plant in the soil. Anyway, so I taught Caden this. So Caden's first class at Vanderbilt, they're doing some book on dream cities or something like that. And he sends me a text. I'm like, what is that? He's like, oh, I reached out to the author through LinkedIn. And I said, hey, will you do a Skype to our class? What do you think the guy said?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Like, didn't even hesitate. So the professor's like, we're changing the agenda today. Thanks, Caden Felton, for getting the author. I mean, the professor didn't even think about that. Why? He's a middle-class thinker. Right? Caden's like, Dad, I set it up. I'm like, of course you did, because you freaking asked. And Siebold's like, dude, your son texts me like every month going, hey, Mr. Siebold, is there any internship opportunities that you know with your network and all that? And Steve's like, I freaking love your son. Well, I'm like, you helped create it, Steve, with your books. And he's thinking like that. In his Google thing, he networked, he reached out, he just did all that stuff. And I'm obviously super proud of my son. But that's the way you all need to show up. That's the way you guys need to be doing. You need to be reaching out to successful people and talking about your mission. They'll help you. Successful people want to help you. Especially that you guys know world-class successful people. They're all spirit-based, right? Even the ego-driven guys are. So people are like, I don't have anyone to talk to. I'm like, that's crazy. All right, and we were talking about, we do executive lunches. so that's my main, and I'm not saying you guys all need to do this. I'm just sharing the concept with you. So years ago, I wasn't, have you guys ever felt like you didn't want to recruit?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, all of us, right? And guess what? We all go through those peaks and valleys. So I hadn't had a direct recruit for like 6 months. And I'm working with Thali was mentoring me a little bit at this point. And he gets on the phone. He's like, dude, I just pulled up your personal recruit. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's your deal? And I'm like, and you can't give Rich an excuse, or like, as he said, there'll be a smoking crater where you once stood, right? So I'm not going to give him an excuse. And I'm like, I just got to pick up my contacting. Isn't that what you guys say? Right? You're not recruiting. What are you going to do? Oh, I'm calling. I got to make more calls. Okay, great, sweet. High five. Go on. And then a week later, hey, what's going on? Right? We all do it. Delusion. Okay. So he said it, but I recognized, like, my heart palpitated, and I'm not sure why. Meaning I had some emotion on it. So I'm a big journal guy, right? So I got a recruiting and selling journal. And one of my favorite things is me plus a thought equals a result, right? Me plus a thought equals a result. So if you're not getting a result in your life, there's only you and your thinking. So if I'm not recruiting, so this is anything. This is selling, right? If you don't like selling, or you having problems selling, write the word sell down, S-E-L-L, and then write down everything that comes up for you on that topic. And most often it's negative. For most people, and so until your relationship changes with that word, your results probably aren't going to change. So you got to look at that as serving. That's why I love the whole mission topic, because as much as I've worked on my guys with that over the years, they still have weird head trash on selling. They just have some weird crap going on there. So what the mission's done, what the book's done, is it's gotten them out of their own way. So that's why I love the book. Because I'm watching it. I'm like, you did what? And people doing more contacting in a week than they probably did all last 2 years, right? And you can do that with the word money. You put the word money down and just have a relationship to results about what comes up there. For most people, it's negative. Until your relationship changes with that word, your money situation might not change. Right? And this is all objective reality. It's not beating yourself up. Just have fun with how crazy you are. Seriously. It's quit taking yourself so seriously. Right? And I have fun with just what my mind comes up with. I'm like, holy crap, the miracle in the mess thing, right? I'm like, dude, are you really thinking that? Anyway, it's crazy. But some people go, oh my God, I shouldn't be thinking that. Guess what? You are. So just get over it. So this is it. This is with health. This is with relationships. I'll get into some story stuff here in a second. I might just have to stay over. Anyway, no, we're getting there. We're getting there. But so I sat down. I'm like, no recruiting results. What am I making up about recruiting? So what you guys understand is humans, we just make up stories. That's what we do. We just spin stories about everything. I mean, we really are totally crazy. But it's kind of funny. And here's the thing is, you can be totally crazy and be totally successful at the same time. I am an example of that. Right? So just kind of loosen up. Loosen up. Tell my guys, I'm like, dude, would you just loosen up? Like, just chill the freak out. Quit taking yourself so damn seriously, right? You're messed up. It's great. But you know it. And then you can become aware of how you're messing yourself up. You catch yourself. You just redirect yourself. End of the story. That, you'll always have that game going on. And it's okay. It's just funny. Like the stuff I make up. Right? And I journal that. Like the situation, I'll make up a story about something. I'll write it down. I won't do anything. I'll work it out. I'll come back 2 weeks later. I'll look at what I was making up. It was so far off base, not even close. So that's a good thing. If you got situations in your life that are stressful, write down what you're making up about it. Because you're making up crap. You're creating your own deal. You're creating your own stress. And then come back. So I literally have years of proof that I'm crazy. So when stuff comes up, I just don't believe it anymore. Hand it over to God and move on, right? And so I don't even believe it. So I've proven that my ego's totally insane, right? Anyway, so back to this whole recruiting thing, I put it up, and I just start writing down everything I make up. And this actually came up. I don't know anyone. You guys ever had that one going? Right? I can't believe I had it in my mind. I don't know anyone. That is the biggest crock of crap on the planet. Especially now you got a mission-driven book. You can have them, you know everybody. I guess people they go cold prospecting, which is great, but you have all these people that you just need to talk to. You have all these successful people that you're like, well, they won't do the business or this or that or what. Who cares? You still need to talk to them and share your mission with them and share a book with them and all that. Guys, it's really, 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 really powerful. So I didn't know anyone. I don't want to babysit. I don't want to this. It's too hard. Very few people are successful. There was like 20, it's just whiny stuff. And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, well, that's why I'm not calling anyone. Why would I recruit anyone to this disaster? Right? We've all been there. Right?
Yes.
So Einstein said the most important decision you'll ever make in your life is friendly world, unfriendly world.
Yep.
Right? And Swan actually gives a great talk on the beautiful side of our company and the ugly side of our company, right? That's where I got it from. So you're either going to search for evidence this thing's awesome, or you're going to search for evidence that it's not. It's just like this world. You're going to search for evidence that things are incredible, or you're going to search for evidence through the news and the media that it's bad, right? So I was looking at that, and then I went through the process of actually meeting with my guys that had been with me longer than 5 years. I just said, hey, I don't care about where you are or titles or whatever. How's this business changed your life? And it was unbelievable what came out of their mouths. I still have in my office like 25 testimonials from people like, this is how it changed my life. Actually, I had 2 people who they were far removed from wanting to end their lives. They wanted to end their lives. They were done. And I said, come to a meeting. And it saved their lives. Not crazy. Marriage is, saved. It was, I just lost my stuff. I couldn't believe it because I was so far into my results and my stuff and beating myself up and, all that crap and ego and I just lost sight of the beautiful side of our business. And I just said, I'm just going to start recruiting, now I'm saying to the mission, but really to the purpose of helping people have a better life. Because I just took the time to collect evidence of how the business had changed people. Right? I'm like, it's a ministry and a business at the same time. So if you follow me on Instagram, I always do #Mizzness, MIZNESS, right? It's the ministry and the business of what we do kind of come together. There's a beautiful side of this stuff. So I'm just like, I could, and like I said, now I really believe we got, the tool, the book that really proves it out. And we're really talking mission. It's never been easier than it's ever been because now we have something to really hand somebody that I think is going to pour gas on it and really fuel it. But so I was kind of a renewed guy, right? Because, right, the things in your life won't change until you change the way you look at those things in your life, right? Bless you. So I had to look at something like recruiting and change my view on it, but actually take the time to change it versus just have the repetitive stuff roll around in my brain, right? So you got to do that with selling. You got to do that with money. You got to do that with wherever you're not getting a result in your life. I had to do it with my spiritual life. It's just, right? And just enjoy the process of the journey of the changing, right? It's not about getting over here and getting a ring or getting your promotion or hitting an impossible goal. You must fall in love with the process of just getting better, even though your ego is going to talk you out of it. It's going to say, well, Felton's a jackass, or it's not right, or it's not for you, or you're not like this, you're not like that. Delete, 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 delete. You're a child of God. Bam. End of story.